Hi everyone, welcome back to today's tutorial. In today's tutorial we are going to learn how to make this airline gown that has collar. But before I proceed, I want to say thank you to my returning subscribers and those who are stopping by for the first time. Please don't forget to subscribe to support me. Let's go to the cutting table. Okay, I've put my fabric in a fold of 4. See, here is folded. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here is my zipper allowance of 1.5 inch. So what I use in folding my fabric is 18 inches. I want the hem to be 18 inches wide, inclusive the sewing allowance. So what I have here folded is 18 inches. So you can see this is the full length. This line here is the full length of my gown. The full length I'm using is 42 inches. Then I have 3 inches left here. I'm not going to cut it out. I'm using it as my folding it allowance. That means my lining is going to be shorter with 2 inches because I'm going to line it. So now we are going to start our measurement. Here is my bust point. From my startup point here, I got my bust point of it's supposed to be 11 inches, but I marked at 11.5. The half is for the joining of the shoulder. Then my waistline is 17 inches. I marked it at 17.5. That is for the joining of the shoulder. By the time I join with half inch, it will come back to 17 inches. So there is no need for the hip measurement because I'm not using the hip. So now from this place that the zipper allowance is, I'm going to input my neck width. The neck width I'm working with is 3.5 inches. I'm using 3.5 inches. Then the back neck depth is 1 inch, while the front neck depth is 3.5 inches. You can as well use 3 inches. So the front neck depth is 3.5 inches. While the back is 1 inch. So I'm going to curve it. So from here I'll make my curve, and also from here I'll curve the front. So now I'm going to take my shoulder measurement. So the shoulder I'm working with is shoulder of 17 inches. That is 8.5 plus half inch seam allowance. That will give me 9 inches. When you divide it by 2, 17 divided by 2 is 8.5 plus half inch. That's 9 inches. So from this 9 inches, I'll take my armhole. The armhole I'm working with is 9 inches. So this is my 9 inches armhole. That's my armhole. Then I have to take my shoulder slope from here of 1 inch. So I have to connect it to my neck width. So this armhole now I'm going to find is remaining 8 inches here now. The midpoint is 4 inches. At this 4 inches point, I have to go in by half an inch for my front armhole. So I'll connect it from this shoulder slope to that half an inch, and from that half an inch I'll create my curve, while this is for the back, this is for the front. Now I'm going to input my body measurement. The bust circumference I'm working with is bust of 42 inches. So when you divide 42 inches by 4, it will give you 10.5. I'll put 1 inch for ease, that's 11.5, and 1 inch for seam allowance, that's 12.5 inches. So I'm marking my 12.5 inches. Yeah, I will also mark it at this my chest line. So the waist I'm working with is, so 38 inches divided by 4 will give us 9.5 plus 1 inch for ease, that is 10.5 plus 1 inch for seam allowance, that is 11.5. So from this point I will connect it to this point. Then from here I will just use my ruler and connect it to the hem line. So from here now I'm going to connect like so. Then from here, so I'll just put my ruler from this point. Now I'll just put my ruler till the hem and connect. You see what I did? So the next thing is just to cut out. So at this point, I'm going to cut the back armhole first. I will also cut the back neckline first. When I'm done cutting it out, I will remove the back, then I'll cut the front. So this is what I have now. I'm going to remove the back now, which is this. It's 2 pieces. I'll remove it now so that I can cut out the front neckline and also the front armhole. So I'm cutting out the front armhole now. I'll also cut the neckline. So with this now, we are done cutting. So the next thing now is to use this pattern that we just cut out now to cut out the lining. Remember, the lining is going to be shorter with 2 inches. Then after cutting our lining, we'll now move to the sewing. So I'm done cutting out my lining. So I'm going to start sewing now. I'm going to sew my lining together and also sew my fabrics together as in separately. I'll just open up my lining this way. Put it like this, shoulder to shoulder. Sew it at the shoulder. I'll also bring the second one and put it shoulder to shoulder and sew it at the shoulder. So I'm also going to do same for the fabrics. Okay, I'm done joining it at the shoulder. You can see it. So I'm going to measure my round neck starting from my zipper allowance here. I'm not using my zipper allowance. At this point I'll measure my round neck to the other side of the zipper allowance at this notch. It will start from this notch and stop at the other notch. Whatever I get here, that is what I will use for my collar. So I got, as I measured this round now, I got 20 inches. So that 20 inches, because I'm cutting 2 collars, I'm going to cut it. It will be 10 inches for each collar. So, but that my 10 inches, I'm going to add 3 inches to it to make it 13 inches. So the collar I'm going to cut out now, I'm going to fold it at 13 inches. So 13 inches for one side, 13 inches for the other side. So this is the collar, and I've sewn it. I sewed this way, and this way. This is the part I will attach to the neckline. I didn't sew it. So I'm going to turn it to the right side now. I'll turn it to the right side this way. make sure you bring out this place very well. I'll turn this to the right side also. Say I will iron. So this is it. After turning it, you have to make sure you iron it for it to relax very well. So for what I will do, I'm going to iron it now and stitch it to my gown. But before I will stitch it to my gown, I want to show you how to do it before I will go and iron now. If you are not using lining for this, you have to put your collar from the wrong side. If you are not folding with lining, put your collar from the wrong side. But if you are using lining, like I'm using now, I'm going to put it on the right side. So I'll get the mid of my center front. I'll put my collar on it this way. So I will arrange it till it ends on my zipper allowance here. So I will do the same. I will bring the same second collar now. So this is my second collar now. This is the first one that I've already put at the center, my center front. So I bring the second one, clamp it on top of the first one with like quarter of an inch or less than quarter of an inch, very small this way. Then I will also arrange it also to reach the notch at my zipper allowance. Then once I'm done it that way, the next thing I will do is that I will bring my lining. I'll get the mid of my lining and put it on top of it, arrange it and pin it down. I pin it down, arrange, make sure that the shoulder of your lining where you stitch correspond with the shoulder of your fabrics. Arrange it and pin it down. By the time I pin it down, so now I'm going to pin this down, then I will sew from the notch on my zipper allowance, sew it down to the second notch using my half-inch seam allowance to sew. So once I'm done sewing, I will notch the stitches and top stitch on it. So this is it now. You see the way it is here, and I've also top stitched on it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is that I'm going to still turn my lining to right side facing each other like this. Now my lining is facing the right side of the lining is facing the right side of the fabric, so I'm going to sew my hem. Make sure that they are equal. I will sew the hem. This is my front. Then I will also sew the side. I'll put on the side also right side facing each other and sew, and you sew also this part of the side. My right lining facing the right fabrics, I will sew it. So when I sew it, I will also sew my zipper allowance side at the back, sew it to the neckline, the two sides. Then I will not turn my fabrics to the right side. So this is what I have. This is my zipper allowance. I've closed it to where my zipper will start the zipper. I've also closed my sides. So when I turn it to the right side, this is what I will have now. This is where my zipper will be. So this is my collar now. I hope you are seeing it. This is my collar. By the time I'm done sewing, I will iron it and everything will relax well. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to fix my zipper and also the sleeve. So the type of sleeve I'm fixing is just our normal basic sleeve. If you don't know how to cut a basic sleeve, check on my channel. I posted a video on how to cut it on my channel. I'm not going to repeat that video now, but I will try to link the video to this tutorial. So it's normal sleeve, basic sleeve, but the only difference, I'm going to attach white at the sleeve, white fabrics at the sleeve. So I will demonstrate to you how I achieve that. Okay, like I said on the sleeve, this is a basic sleeve. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to attach this white satin on it. So I'm going to turn my sleeve to the wrong side. Then this my silk is 4 inches unfold. That means it's 8 inches wide. So I'll just put it at the tip of the sleeve like this from the wrong side. I'm sewing for the wrong side. The sleeve, the fabric is wrong side I'm sewing on, while the satin is the right side. I'll just stitch it with 1/2 inch. Then I will now turn it to the right side this way and top stitch. When I'm done top stitching, I'll just fold this up. It will be up this way. That's what I'm going to do to the sleeve now. Okay guys, I'm done attaching the sleeve. This is what I have for the sleeve now, and this is our collar. I've also sewed the zip. This is my zip, and this is the back. See the back? This is the back. So this is the outcome of our gown. I want to keep it the way you will see everything at once. Hope you are seeing it. This is the sleeve. So this brings us to the end of this tutorial. If this tutorial has been helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Like, share my videos to your family and friends. And for those of us that have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel to support me. Thank you. See you in the next tutorial. God bless you.